E3!
E3! Yeah, that's. Oh, how many weeks you got? How many? Wait, no. If we do that, we're gonna date ourselves. Never mind.
Yeah,
It's
soon.
Even though Falshane just gave you an answer, you didn't hear that. It didn't happen.
Ambiguous amount of time.
I'd date myself.
Can I say in just as a overview to the topic of third parties in general, that we really all of this is conditioned under the idea that Nintendo would change the way they or Super Smash Bros. Would change the way that they're currently doing third parties, because if everyone has to be like a Sonic level guest, then no one we have on this list is going to make it.
There's like maybe 3 who are like Sonic, Pac-Man, Cloud levels of famous.
But if we are to assume Nintendo would kind of open up the gates and let third-party characters be treated the same as their first-party characters, then some of these guys have a little higher chance. Also, we just don't even really know what degree a character can appear. Like, Rayman was a trophy last time around, and that was just really unexpected, that they'd go through the trouble of securing the rights just to get a cameo appearance.
Also, I wouldn't put Bayonetta on like Sonic or Pac-Man.
No, but she won the belt, and Nintendo basically owns her now, so she's kind of an
accepted. So the other factor is the company's relationship with Nintendo itself.
Yes.
And that's something that some things on the list have, some things do not.
Well, hey, with all that in mind, let's start talking about these companies, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, who's your number 1 most likely Sega character?
Oh, likely? Oh, fuck. I didn't put my list up.
Likely?
Alex
Probably
Kidd.
a second Sonic character, in my opinion.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadow or Tails, probably.
Really? You don't like Knuckles?
Not above Tails, no.
The enchilada.
Knuckles the enchilada, yes.
The only reason I would want Knuckles in the game is so that every time somebody selected a character, I could put my chip up and put it back down and say, and Knuckles.
Knuckles with a gun.
But really though, I see Knuckles having more potential of being a playable character as he actually punches things, as having a more reasonable moveset. At least above Tails, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Sonic series will have another character. It certainly could. It's very famous and popular, and the thing is, pretty much any character you could suggest would be very unique, be it Tails or Knuckles or even Shadow. I think Shadow wouldn't necessarily be a Sonic clone because he has things like the Chaos Spear and Chaos Control and Gun.
The best Chaos Emerald power.
They didn't give Snake. They didn't give Snake a gun. They're not gonna give Shadow.
They gave
a gun.
Bayonetta a gun.
Several guns.
Well, no, those were explosives. They
Okay,
were
rocket launcher.
Fired from a gun.
Nothing that fires a bullet.
Oh, Bayonetta has 4 guns.
Yeah, Bayonetta has 4 guns.
Okay, well that's a little different. Hers are a little silly.
Anyway, silly in that she wears them on her feet. The Sonic Adventure 2 / Sonic Adventure 2 Battle interpretation of Tails, in my opinion, would make a pretty interesting fighter for Smash Brothers. He rides inside of a little like walker mech, and his whole gimmick was that he could lock on and aim at people and then shoot a bunch of shots simultaneously. Okay. And I think that would be pretty neat.
What if Tails worked like Diva, where he has a mech, but the mech can be destroyed, and then he gets to like walk around and fly with his tails?
That sounds kind of cute. I don't know if he needs a robot. I think that they could probably give him like a full moveset on.
Oh yeah.
But it would be cool. I don't think that Sonic is gonna get a second character yet. But I think that if we give the Smash series just a little bit more time, like eventually they'll want to give more representation to characters like him and Mega Man, and then they'll start probably giving us Tails and Shadow. I do think eventually they'll make it in, but not quite yet. Okay. Not quite yet.
I've been feeling more and more through this series that it actually is the time for to open up the threshold for secondary Sonic characters and Mega Man characters and the like. Because as we keep discussing characters, I realize that a lot of Nintendo's big shots are already in there. And it's just starting to get silly, the more obscure characters that get added from Nintendo, when Sonic has so many iconic characters that just aren't in yet. If I were going to throw out what I think would be the most likely next inclusion from Sonic, it would be Dr. Eggman as a boss.
Ooh, that's
okay. I like that.
I like that, or a stage hazard.
2 options here. Big the Cat, alternative. long casting. He can pick up different lures. He has a tether grab. I've got an
Oh my
entire
god.
his final smash is Froggy. The other one is, I think that an interesting stage hazard, playable character, assist trophy, even anything, however you want to implement them, would be Chaos, the boss from Sonic
Yeah.
Adventure.
Yeah, okay.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
I was half worried you were gonna
with
say
his butt rock theme song.
I was worried you were gonna say Charmy the Bee.
No. But I trolled enough with Big the Cat, even though I do have a moveset over here. But
I think it would be more likely to see them as assist trophies for now, like out of Shadow. Seeing Tails and Knuckles being more assist trophies, like Tails flying on the plane, shooting something, or something along those lines.
Anything else from Sega, folks?
I want Kiryu from the Yakuza series.
Why?
Like, he's being pushed real hard by Sega right now. He just got a new game. We were just confirmed that all of his games getting remade into the PlayStation 4.
there might be some sort of, I don't know, issue with putting a freaking member of the Japanese mafia into Smash Bros.
No, don't worry. He hasn't killed
That's
anyone
Nintendo
yet.
history.
Yeah, that's how
technically speaking.
Nintendo got money by selling Hanafuda cards to the Yakuza, so there.
But what
Yeah,
would
that's definitely what they want to remember about that.
Gamersaps, what would Kiryu do?
Basically,
Nothing in
use
Smash.
anything that he can get his hands on and use that as a weapon, like a fishing pole, a chair, a sofa, just using anything he can use as a weapon.
Sounds like Frank West.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Yes,
it's like
actually,
Frank
yeah.
West. Yeah.
I feel like you could take any human character and give
Yeah.
them that.
But
Okay, well, I guess Yakuza is pretty popular. I was over here about to suggest Alex Kidd, so...
A character that I would like to see represented in some way, and I think Assist Trophy would probably be the best, would be Knights.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all
I
right.
like that character.
That's fair. That's a big character.
I feel that the most likely Sega character would be Ai from Super Monkey Ball. I feel. I think that game's got a pretty big fan base, and usually when I think of Sega All Stars, I go Sonic in my head, and then next up Ai.
That's true. I also would not mind a character from Puyo Puyo getting in because the series is so big in Japan.
I hear a lot of chatter about Puyo Puyo, but I don't know nothing about that series.
I've played. It's fun.
Red Puyo for Smash.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna suggest one of the NPCs, but
I can't remember his name, but I think a good assist trophy would be that rhythm game monkey, the Sambo.
Oh, Samba de
what's that?
Amigo.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the guy.
oh,
Yeah,
that
oh
guy.
man, I love
Yeah,
that
all right.
game.
I believe Sega owns Atlas.
I do see some potential for either the mascot of the series, Jack Frost, getting in, or Ren Amamiya. Ren Amamiya is the most recent Persona 5 protagonist, or as we like to call him, Neiman Neutron.
Oh, that... Okay, now I know who you're talking about.
Doesn't he have a couple names?
Well, he's got a couple of canon. He's got 2 canon names, and then Yerman Neutron, which is like the Elder God name passed down upon him by the voices from the dark.
You got your basic canon names, and then you got your under canon names. From there, it goes sweet canon names.
If you have 2 canon names and that's just the start of it, then... Another thing. Okay, but I do know that I think the next SMT game is going to be on Switch, possibly an exclusive.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it's certainly possible.
It's okay, Saps. Nintendo forgot about Fire Emblem on the Switch, so.
Like, oh wait, crap, this thing's coming out in like 3 months, we gotta announce it. E3! E3!
Konami.
The only character from Konami I want is Emmy from Dance Dance Revolution, and that's that. Mic drop. I'm out.
What? To be honest, I actually forgot that DDR was a Konami series.
We have like a list this time, which is good for us.
Yeah.
Nice. But and I see Silent Hill's Pyramid Head included on it, and I'm thinking, I don't know about that
No,
one.
no, that's the best idea I've ever.
I mean, I would be in full support, but it seems a bit edgy for Smash.
No,
Just
no,
a little.
100%, I'm behind it.
Didn't he rip somebody's skin off?
He's
with
done a
that?
lot
I know what
worse
you're
than
talking
that.
about.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
pretty sure
He's
Kirby has
innocent,
done
he
worse
was
than that.
framed.
Great.
He was framed. So yes.
Well, how about Castlevania then? What about that?
After Metal Gear, I would say Castlevania is probably the next most likely Konami thing to happen.
I would
but
think Time in Belmont would be more likely to happen than any other
yeah,
Konami-related character.
Yeah.
I agree. That's really all I got.
Well, how has Castlevania been treated lately?
It had a really kick-ass anime.
True.
Did.
A little derail, and we can cut this. I just want to say that I watched that on Netflix, and I watched the whole thing thinking, man, is this all there is? When's the action gonna kick on? And then after I finished the final episode, I was like, where are the more? I want more!
Where are the more?
Where are the more?
Where are the more?
Konami just announced a Castlevania mobile game, which seems odd and like not like much, but at this point, Castlevania fans will take whatever they can get.
What are you talking about, Wander? I'm waiting for the representative from the Pachinko game.
Yeah.
Konami's a garbage company. Anything more to say?
It sometimes does good things. It let Bomberman be again on the Switch.
Ooh, that's right.
Great.
Bomberman. That's another big one. Very like
I
classic.
think one
classic
of the most
famous
highly
character.
requested third-party characters is Bomberman. My dream for Bomberman is that he would be able to damage himself with his own bomb. And then I could watch Jay attempt to play as him.
The only thing I would want from a Bomberman character really would be if his death animation somehow involved that little skull puff cloud that he used to have back in the old like
Oh, yeah.
Game Boy games.
I mean, they did that. So the Mega Man death animation, so I'm sure they could do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Using the Mega Man and Pac-Man and Ryu as president, I'm pretty sure the most nostalgic, most memorable iterations of the characters are more important than whatever they're doing recently.
Capcom. Does anybody think that we're gonna get a second Mega Man character?
I
this time?
want Proto Man so bad. Just
Do you think we're gonna get it?
no, but I want it.
Okay.
Bass would be a really cool character too. I mean, I would see. I'm trying to think of who a cool villain would be, and the only representable villain I think from Mega Man that would make it in would be Sigma. But I think that Wily is a more iconic villain.
Yeah.
Woodman.
We already talked about Fire Emblem, alright? Let's move on.
Yeah.
If Sonic can get a second character, then I think Mega Man can get Zero in.
Harsh words from you, Chan. He thinks Mega Man will get 0 characters.
You guys don't think that the most likely second character for Mega Man would be Zero? Because that's what I thought.
I
You
mean,
do have a point.
probably, but I
No,
really want.
I was just making a joke.
But yeah, I could see more assist trophies getting in from Mega Man's franchise, at least.
Yeah, alright. Assist trophies, sure. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you could pick any blank man, and it would be a good assist trophy.
Or,
Wood.
Wood.
I would love a second Street Fighter character, but no.
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah. Not likely, but if we did, Chun-Li.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I think that having Ryu in, I'm on two minds of it. One is I would really like to have Ken in, just because I'd like to complete like the duality there. Have like a Mario, Luigi, Ryu, and Ken like fight. That'd be super freaking cool.
I just want a Ken and Akuma color swap for him.
Well,
That's all I want.
that's the other thing, because what I was gonna say is I would also like to have Akuma in the game so that we could have an iconic villain there, but
Yeah.
they could all just be filed under a palette swap for Ryu.
I don't think there's really much else to say on Street Fighter. That's probably about it.
Yeah, I don't even think they have much of assist trophy potential, in my opinion.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well,
they're freaking huge characters.
Yeah.
Everybody recognizes Ivan.
Blanca would be a really
Blanca
cool
or Dulce.
trophy.
Yeah.
Dulcim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so between Mega Man and Street Fighter, which series is more likely to get a second representative?
I think
Mega
Mega
Man.
Man.
Mega Man.
But that's not all Capcom has, is it?
It has a lot.
Suggestion: we skip Smash and just go straight to Nintendo versus Capcom.
Yes.
I would do it. I'm down. Let's do it.
Speaking of, what a tangent, because Marvel, the Versus Capcom series had Monster Hunter in their most recent iteration.
did.
So what if they put him in Smash, right? What?
Honestly, I feel like Monster Hunter might be the most likely next Capcom series.
That's not unreasonable.
It's doing
Honestly.
huge right now.
Not to mention, they've been having a lot of cross-promotion with Nintendo.
True.
I believe there was a Mario and Luigi skin for your cats.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
I
There was a
think-
lot of skins for the
Like-
cats. You could make it Isabelle from
Right.
Animal
Yeah,
Crossing.
there's Animal Crossing, Zelda, Metroid,
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem. I think maybe Star Fox. I'm not sure.
Metroid.
And when you start getting chummy with Nintendo, that's when we really start taking you into consideration here.
Yeah.
But I would say that Monster
Yeah.
Hunter might be the most likely Capcom character.
Yeah,
I
I just
like it.
And not having played the games, it's really hard to say just what to do with them. But I want to change that fact soon. But I also know they had another skin which was from Ace Attorney.
True.
Transition. What?
Speaking of which, Phoenix Wright was also in Marvel vs. Capcom, but if they put him in Smash, I'd want them to make him work differently. So, follow-up point, I read a comment saying that supposedly he was going to get into a fighting game before Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't know what game, but they were thinking about putting wheels on his desk so that he could just fucking
my
go,
God.
like, ride it around the stage and, like, smash it into people.
Oh my god.
I want that concept in Smash.
Hilarious.
Amazing.
We kind of snuck Phoenix Wright into our level 5 discussion backhandedly by just referencing everything we would do with Layton to also do with Phoenix Wright. Thinking of it in that terms of in those lens, I almost feel like Phoenix Wright has less to offer than Layton. Because there's just less going on in his game. They're more by the book, behind single sprite type animation. I would think Professor Layton would be more likely than him in that sense.
But I also feel like they could do more silly things with Wright, like I played Project Cross Zone where he basically uses Maya to just attack for him.
Just like
That's fun.
just like in the actual games, makes Maya do all the work. Actually, no, I take that
Now
back.
what-
Nick does all the work in those games. Maya does nothing.
But if I were to mention another character that I think might be interesting to have alongside, at least with Bayonetta in the game, Dante.
Oh yeah,
Dante from Devil May
no
Cry.
thanks.
Super Smash Bros.
No,
on
thanks.
Nintendo Switch, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series
And Knuckles.
and Knuckles.
God
And not-
With a gun.
uncles.
Anybody else got any other characters that they want to throw in on Smash? For Capcom,
I mean, yes, but we should probably move on.
Okay.
Capcom
sure.
has so many characters.
Yeah, Capcom just really likes having iconic characters.
Okay, you know, I'll throw in one more for Capcom and say that I feel like the most Nintendo vibing character they have is Beautiful Joe.
Yeah, alright,
Yeah.
that's fair. But he's kind of past his prime now.
True.
Bandai Namco. I don't think Pac-Man needs a second character. I don't even know how that would work. Like, Miss Pac-Man?
Yeah.
I don't,
As an,
Together.
great.
Miss Pac-Man as an alt.
Is Miss Pac-Man the first female protagonist in video game history?
You
I
decide.
don't know.
Let me know in the comments, because I do not know.
I could Google, but I won't.
Definitely one of the first.
Tekken? Do we think a Tekken character's gonna get in the Smash?
I think Heihachi.
Yes.
Heihachi. I think
Pikachu?
he was actually considered for, I think, DLC or something.
Well, so the Mii Fighter's got his costume.
Yeah, that's what ended up happening.
I could kind of see Jin get in just because he has a devil gene.
I mean, it would make for a cool final Smash, but aside from that, what does that really mean?
Yeah, the thing is, they have to compete with fucking Ryu.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest reason you would put someone from Tekken in is because Ryu is in, and this is a golden opportunity to merge the worlds here.
Yeah.
I think Heihachi versus Ryu would be a pretty big event, and
I mean, it has happened before.
it has. I'm not familiar
Yeah,
with this. Oops.
Tekken X Street Fighter.
Yep.
And that was a great game.
No, it was.
Well, in that case,
Canonically.
fuck Heihachi. Get out of here.
The only Soul Calibur character that I want in Smash is Link.
Wait a second.
Well, boy, do I have some news for you.
With the possible exception of Darth Vader.
No, Link should have his freaking bullshit overpowered throw where he like jumps over your arm and throws you behind him.
Yes, that sounds great.
Throw them off the stage. Just
So all you
instantly.
have to do is like lure somebody to the edge, use like your alt grab, and then you win. But yeah, Soul Calibur isn't quite at the level of Street Fighter or Tekken as far as fighting games go.
People bring up the Tales of franchise sometimes, and they suggest Lloyd, and I don't personally see it, but hey, a
I
lot
mean,
of people, other people do.
They gave him a Smash Fighter or Mii Fighter costume, so
They did,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. They did do that.
that might
And
be
he-
the new like gateway
That's the new, but we have an assist trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Tales of the game. The most popular character I would believe is Lloyd because I can't stop hearing about his game.
Yeah.
Well, it's a really good game.
So you guys are gonna laugh at me, but my number one most likely Bamco character is probably somebody from Dark Souls.
Is it Solaire?
It's probably Solaire. I mean, although, if Solaire made it into Smash, Wii Fit Trainer would need to give up her Salute the Sun attack, and I don't know if Wii Fit Trainer plays.
No,
that.
could you imagine if they had like the old Smash daily updates and one of the pictures would be Solaire and Wii Fit Trainer doing the Salute the Sun together?
Yes!
I love that.
I think Dark Souls is one of the biggest releases that we've seen in recent years. I would not be at all surprised if Nintendo recognized that.
Yeah, it's a rare opportunity where we have this video game that came out and really made a statement in the video game community. Like, it's part of every conversation when any game comes out now, to an annoying level. And the fact that it isn't like particularly aligned with any other major company, it's not like a PlayStation icon or anything. It's a big opportunity to sweep them in and put them in Super Smash Brothers. And that amiibo that just came out is a big plus for them.
Again, two things just flavor-wise. I want their taunts to be the speaking stones, because I think I would just love the ability to... I'm sorry.
Idea for
Very good. Very good.
The other thing, really quickly, is just I want the "you died" to be implemented somehow. I don't care if they have to give them a final smash like Bayonetta's, where if it triggers enough to know that the character will lose a stock upon completion, the animation stops and it just says "Boom, you died."
Like you'll have a 4-player smash and Solaire will die, all the other 3 will keep going, and the whole screen will just go black. This big red text, "You died." But the fight keeps going and it never actually changes back.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
Idea for a special and/or Final Smash invasion.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I love that! Oh my god, red phantoms popping out of nowhere would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be terrifying even.
The Dark Souls is more defined by its enemies than its playable characters. So how would those be implemented into Super Smash Brothers?
I mean, the only thing I could really say is that maybe Ornstein would make it in instead of him, but I don't know about that.
I don't think that any of the bosses would make it in as playable characters. I think that they would probably be stage hazards.
Yeah.
Asylum Demon Assist Trophy.
That'd be cool.
If there's some sort of Smash run or something with its DNA in it, then just put a whole bunch of Dark Souls enemies in as encounters.
Oh my god, Blight Town Stage.
No.
Oh my god, the
No.
worst. Everybody gets poisoned constantly.
Only
all
if
the
it
time.
lags the entire time you play.
There
I
are
don't care
bug
if you have
enemies
to
that shoot fire at you.
artificially create the lag.
There are dudes in the background throwing rocks in your direction.
You would really rather just have more fun playing Dark Souls.
It's the worst stage. Alright, I don't have anything else. I'm done nerding.
Okay.
Sorry. Squeenix! We want to talk about Final Fantasy?
I did mention him in passing during Tekken Talk, but Noctis.
No. Next.
I know your feeling about Noctis, Falshane, but you can't deny he is being pushed hard right now. He is the most recent protagonist.
If your Final Fantasy character needs me to ask who, they're not making it in a Smash.
Well,
Fuck you.
okay. Let's be fair. Final Fantasy 15 is probably the most famous Final Fantasy since 7, the one that's gotten the most public acclaim, the one that's gotten the most amount of DLC, additional content, its character ported into different games. Yes, they are pushing Noctis really hard, and I would have to sadly admit, if they were going to pick a character outside of 7, then yes, it would probably be Noctis, and I would cry fanboy tears long into the night. But my request would be that before doing that, they implement another character from 7, and I would like to put on the table Tifa.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard this secondhand, and I don't really remember where I heard it, so sorry for the unsourced reference. But I'm pretty sure I heard that Sakurai had gone in to talk with Squeenix, and was talking about implementing a character from one of the more recent Final Fantasies, and they said no, use our popular one, use the one that everyone knows, and so that's how we ended up with Cloud.
Yeah. I actually remember the interview you're talking about, and yeah, Square Enix just was like, just use Cloud, come on. Because I think, Sakurai said that he went in expecting not a recent character, but a character from either FF6 or 5, which were on the Super Nintendo. I think he specifically named Terra and Bartz.
Oh, that would have been so much better.
Yeah, and like if I could request another Final Fantasy character, it would be Terra. Because I love FF6.
Yeah, it's a really great game.
That is fair. But Falshane, I know you're gonna get mad at me.
What else is
I
new?
know. Nothing really. But I just wanna prepare you for this.
Okay,
But
I'm prepared.
do you think, at the slightest possibility, lightning?
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Keep a positive attitude, he says. Meanwhile, Saps is over here with just all of the taunts. Okay, so if I had to pick between Lightning and Noctis, I think that I would probably pick Noctis just because his fighting style is much more interesting than Lightning's. He has a lot more that he could offer in terms of building a Smash character around. He has the like the Armagus system or whatever, where he can swap between his weapons. He can teleport around. He has access to a car and 3 buddies. And he can fish. So there's that chain grab. See my Dig the Cat discussion. Anyway, whereas Lightning is more or less just a generic soldier who has some capabilities with that like gravity device she has to let her like jump high, but that's really about it.
Gravity device?
Yeah, Lightning has I forget exactly what it's called, but
like
she has
Gordon Freeman?
Yeah, she has like a remote control that she can like turn it on and off to give slight control over how gravity affects her.
Okay.
When before Cloud was announced for Super Smash Brothers, if you asked me which Final Fantasy character I thought would be in the game, I would have said Black Mage every time.
Same.
I thought Black Mage was way more in the realms of what is Super Smash Brothers. And now that Cloud is in, I just feel like Black Mage has no chance anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the problem with the generic like Final Fantasy 1 through 3 characters is that they are kind of empty shells that you're meant to put your own sort of identity into. So I mean,
half the Smash roster.
Well, okay, but I think that if you were going to look at that route, the best character to add would probably be Warrior of Light, who was a character that is supposed to represent the concept of all of those characters.
Oh, and there's like borrowed traits from all of the classes.
Yeah,
that would be fun actually.
Yeah.
Although I would say for like generic Final Fantasy character, Chocobo.
I can see them as enemy or an assist trophy.
I'm vibrating in place right now. The capability to... They have a costume! Oh my god, I just remembered they have a costume!
Yeah. Actually, Chocobo assist trophy I would be totally down for.
Only if you can hop on it and ride it around and Chocobo kick people off the stage. Okay.
What other franchises besides Final Fantasy on Square Enix do we think?
Dragon Quest.
I thought you were doing a Chrono Trigger. I have not played either of those games.
Is this our opportunity to put a Dragon Ball character into Smash?
Yes!
I love that Akira Toriyama art. I will eat up anything that he draws.
Yeah, Dragon Quest is an enormous, super famous, popular, influential franchise. I would be shocked if the next Square Enix content in Smash wasn't from Dragon Quest.
Wow.
Honestly.
Okay. That's strong.
I mean,
Worlds.
Dragon Quest is a lot more popular in Japan than it is in America, but that's not to say it's not super popular in America. It's just to highlight that it's even bigger in Japan. And I mean, I could see them making like a slime cameo character, but if there had to be a playable character, honestly, and this is going to show on my weakness personally about Dragon Warrior, but the only character that comes to mind that I would want to have playable is Hero, the main character from, what is it, 8? The one that just has like the orange bandana. Otherwise, just looks like
Goku.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goker.
But you mentioned popularity, and coming from a European country, I haven't heard of Dragon Quest at all. Like, growing up, I never heard that title at all. I even heard Final Fantasy, and that was unpopular here.
Huh, that's interesting.
All right, so representing all of Norway and all of Europe, he just claimed Gamersaps says that Dragon's Quest is not popular. So against what I had heard and experienced in my
I was
life.
gonna say, from a gentleman who's recently come back from Japan and has dined at the Square Enix Cafe, I can assure you.
Yeah, but I'm just speaking from the PAL region, at least my experience with it.
What
No
region?
advertisements, the PAL.
Ignoring what's popular in Europe is Nintendo's punishment for NOE constantly leaking stuff.
If there are any Europeans in the comment sections who might contradict what Gamersaps just said, please take it for me, and we can move on.
For Dragon Quest, I honestly think they could make Slime a playable character. There's enough going on. Like, there are so many different versions of Slime. He's had his own spin-off games. It's possible. Other than that, like maybe Torneko, who I think I've brought up before,
Yeah.
who's a merchant character, star of the original Mystery Dungeon. But yeah, I think either Hero or Slime.
So I hear people talking about Chrono a lot.
Wake up, Chrono.
I've played a little bit of Chrono Trigger. I know that a lot of people are super duper into it. I don't know if I think it'll make it into Smash.
Okay.
Now or ever, really.
Well, you don't like RPGs, Ark, so this is
No,
your
I'm-
dream.
Listen. I'm just thinking about in the grand scheme of things, there's probably other characters that would get in a lot faster.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't imagine any character from Chrono Trigger getting into Super Smash Brothers
It'd have to be-
only
it'd have to be
because,
Chrono.
well, yeah, but only because of how. I mean, it was one game. Granted, it was a very good game, but everything that came out of that franchise after that moment paled in comparison. So it kind of just drifted off to the like curb, and it's stayed there since.
Right?
Yeah.
If actually, this is going to be kind of a general statement about Square Enix: is more music, just in general. I love Chrono Trigger's music. I love Final Fantasy music. Just more of that, please.
Agreed.
Yeah, and moving on from Chrono, I would put Bravely Default in kind of the same category of good games, but there are other options from Square that I think are much more likely.
Yeah.
But
I'll
music, we need music from that game.
Yeah.
I'll give a little bit more gift to Bravely Default just because Nintendo was really helping it out in advertising. I
Mhm.
remember seeing it at every Direct for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Watch as magically the conversation drifts straight past Tomb Raider. Bye.
But mentioning Tomb Raider,
Probably not. Anyway.
I mean, yeah.
Uh,
There's Lara Croft, and then what else?
I think
Yeah.
the only point for that is that Lara Croft is one of the most famous video game characters ever.
True.
True.
Very.
sure.
Probably not. Probably not.
But yeah, so probably not for Smash, I would wager.
What do you guys think about Sora getting the Smash? Tell me your thoughts.
Well,
Actually getting it? No.
we're here. We're finally here in Let's Chat episode 8. We have found the #1 least likely major video game character to ever appear in Super Smash Brothers.
His words, not mine. Great.
No. We've got Disney to go through on this one.
Okay, they'll just,
to me now.
yeah, they'll just buy Nintendo, and then it'll be perfectly fine.
Wow. They're gonna roll the world.
Don't say that.
Now, I gotta have a small little addendum here on Sora. And it's gonna involve spoilers for the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers.
Probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, so don't listen to this.
So
if you haven't seen
don't
those.
actually say it.
So don't listen to Saps ever.
Okay, this is mainly just a warning for Nada. I know he doesn't want to know anything.
Then maybe we shouldn't talk about it.
But it's worth. I feel like it is worth saying though. I feel like it is relevant to the conversation.
I mean, I don't care either way, so go.
Spoiler warning now.
So, one of the most recent trailers that was announced showcased basically Flat Zone in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, little Game & Watch minigames.
Yeah, it was classified as his own kingdom.
Oh.
So,
Why isn't it on a Switch console?
Because PlayStation 4.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
But
here's
yeah.
the problem, right? Like, Nintendo doesn't own the exclusive rights to, like, one frame LCD video game handhelds from the 80s. Like, so
Although-
anybody can represent that, and it doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah.
it's Nintendo related.
Side note: Nintendo did make Disney like Mickey Mouse Game & Watch games. That's all.
That is true, yeah.
But
True.
to talk about the relationship between Disney and Nintendo today, they are in many indirect ways competitors, and we wouldn't really see a crossover from them at this point. Especially now that Nintendo is partnered with Universal to be producing a theme park and movies, all things that are Disney's territory that Nintendo has just dug itself into. There was also Disney Infinity versus Amiibo. They're in a lot of indirect ways they've been competing, and I would find it very unlikely that they would ever partner for something like this.
Agreed.
Yeah, you do have a point there. I like the idea of Sora. I don't think he will ever make it in, though.
Thanks for being a part of the Let's Chat discussion, Sora. Bye. See you again.
I will bring him out of the grave after E3!
Please don't.
Can't stop me!
Ubisoft!
We already talked about Ubisoft.
Right, I want to bring it up again for one reason.
Going back to Ubisoft! Sorry, go for it.
Just because I just saw the trailer that came out for the DLC for Mario plus Rabbids,
Oh, yeah.
and this DLC came out way too late to actually affect Smash in any way. But it does just go to show how successful Mario plus Rabbids was, and that they're continue to support it. And beyond that, I'm going to also use this to indirectly say that Cranky Kong's chances are looking up, because they included two new playable characters. One is Donkey Kong, two is a Cranky Rabbit.
Good Ubisoft discussion.
All right.
Yes, there we go. Activision?
Spyro or Crash, you must choose.
Oh no!
Alright, no.
Don't make me pick between my children!
Tracer.
We'll get to that later.
If I were to personally choose between Spyro or Crash, I will personally pick Crash.
Crash has never been more likely than he has been right now. Because he just got a remastered edition of his video game on the Switch.
Yes. Or
But...
he's getting. He has mainly been a PlayStation mascot. Still basically is a PlayStation mascot, but his game has branched out from PlayStation.
But like you could say the same about Snake and Cloud.
I feel like anything that was working against Crash in previous discussions has kind of dissolved by 2018. And I think that he, a lot of the things that were barring him are gone. I think that Crash is, relatively to other people on this list, pretty damn likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the two, okay, first off, I agree Crash has never been more likely than he is now. Of the two, I personally think Spyro is a bit more likely. Spyro is also getting a remastered trilogy. It has not yet been announced for Switch, but come on, it's coming to Switch.
Yeah, come on.
It's like, yeah.
Skylanders is also tangentially related to Spyro,
Yes.
and it did very well.
Skylanders is a Spyro spin-off, and it's did gangbusters, especially on like the Wii.
So yeah, in that perspective, yeah, maybe Spyro is not the least likely thing.
Either or maybe even both.
So Call of Duty. We really gonna
God!
It was a name drop.
It got a new trailer. There's going to be a battle royale mode in it.
Yeah, I think
Guns.
Call of
Great.
Duty is one of the biggest franchises ever. It's not going to be in Smash.
No,
Nope. How could it?
no.
No, thank you, StarCraft. No, thank you, Warcraft. Let's put Tracer in.
Hang on!
All right, fine.
I think Ark's got an agenda.
Let's talk about Blizzard now.
Okay. Blizzard. To my knowledge, Blizzard has released 2 games on Nintendo platforms, Lost Vikings and StarCraft 64. There could be more. I don't know of them.
Yeah, I guess overall, Blizzard really hasn't done much with Nintendo and doesn't seem to want to, because they're doing really well in the PC market. But they are very iconic games. Particularly StarCraft and Warcraft, I think, have been decade-long successes. that if you wanted to represent video game history, you'd throw in a character from one of them. I know nothing about StarCraft, so if someone wants to say something about StarCraft before we dig into the next one.
Okay, so for StarCraft, there's Jim, who is generic Space Marine, and there's Sarah Kerrigan, who is cool, badass villain lady. And I think Kerrigan is pretty cool, but again, not super likely just because of Blizzard's relationship with, or lack thereof, with Nintendo.
Ark, do you want to say something?
Tracer's... Overwatch isn't gonna get in Smash.
No.
But if it was Tracer.
Tracy,
But if it was, Tracer would be great. Let's do it. Yeah.
And if they got a second character, would it be Winston or Soldier 76?
It would be Junkrat.
Junkrat. Yeah. Okay. So how about Warcraft? Warcraft, the big MMORPG, like synonymous with MMORPG.
Man, I've already scrolled the coins.
Yeah, it's weird because Warcraft has like no history with Nintendo at all, but it's one of the most famous games of all time. So
Yeah.
it's hard to say if Nintendo will reach for that.
Now, in terms of who they would represent from the Warcraft series, my personal knowledge of Warcraft is extensive up to the year 2002, and then I know nothing. But I would wager Thrall. Is he still relevant? Do the kids still know about Thrall? He was.
I think he might be the face of the Warcraft at the moment. I don't quote me on that. I don't play at Warcraft, but I think he's one of the faces.
Because Thrall, I hear a lot about Jaina, but I don't know much about her.
You put 5 names down on this list. I don't know who any of these 5 characters are, but
Honestly, same.
the Warcraft lore that I was familiar with, which was Warcraft 1 through 3, Thrall was sort of the main character of the Orc campaign, and the Orcs are what you think of when you think of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So he'd be a pretty good mascot.
Next topic. Koei Tecmo?
Go Tecmo.
Sure. What do they have?
Nothing worth discussing. But Ryu Hayabusa, hey, that's a character that you probably know, maybe,
Yeah.
from Ninja Gaiden, huh?
Yeah, both.
I thought that this was a Konami game. Huh.
But I know, yeah, there was like classic NES Ninja Gaiden, which was not as good as you remember it. Anybody who played it as a kid, it's one of those like famously hard Nintendo games, and yeah, it was remade a little while ago on the modern consoles.
And that's about it. That's about
Yeah.
all we have to say about Ryu. He's probably not going to be in Smash.
Yeah, he's a ninja.
Yeah.
But we also had a Warrior franchise, and the only one I could really see is Lana from Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
there are
was
two
the-
Nintendo crossovers, okay?
That was the Koei Tecmo OC that they put into the Legend of Zelda universe.
Yes.
Yep.
Warriors has a pretty, very healthy relationship with Nintendo right now. They're producing 2 Warrior series with Nintendo and using their, iconic music and such.
Right.
Koei Tecmo also just partners with a lot of people, so it's not like they're buddy, but they don't have much. The Dynasty Warriors, I've played a couple of them, and I don't think any of those characters really feel like Super Smash Brothers characters.
But I do know that in a recent interview, they did express wishes to do more Fire Emblem Warriors, just to show that they are interested in Nintendo properties.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be?
Didn't
Fair.
they say that they wanted to make like a Pokemon Warriors game?
I do think they did, but didn't they also make like, who made that one Pokemon game with the samurai?
Conquest.
Can you
Pokemon Conquest.
you
Yeah, that was
imagine-
them. That was Koei
Oh,
Tecmo.
yeah.
Can you imagine a Warriors game
Yeah.
where you're just mowing down hordes of Rattata?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, what would Pokemon Warriors be?
Like, are we gonna kill these fucking Rattata?
I put a lot of thought into what it would be like, but that is a different podcast, my friend.
Okay.
just to mention, Bethany Esda
Yes.
has Elder Scrolls, which they recently re-released on Switch. And what's remarkable is the way Nintendo treated this, like it was a guest of honor on the Switch.
Yeah.
It was in the reveal trailer for the Switch. They really pushed it, and now there's a Breath of the Wild DLC into Elder Scrolls
Right.
that it really shows that they're on board with the whole thing, even though they really don't seem like a good fit for Super Smash Brothers. I will give benefit to the doubt that they are more likely than some of the other characters.
Skyrim's stage, every now and then your character just randomly clips through the floor. Todd Howard's revenge.
But then again, with the ports and all that, Skyrim isn't famous for being ported on everything. The only thing missing right now is mobile, and I don't see that as far-fetched for E3. I'm
The only
scared of
thing
E3.
missing. The only thing missing is for it to get ported into Smash. Swing! The Dragonborn guy gets ported to Smash.
Did they hide the entirety of Elder Scrolls into the masterpieces section?
Hey, speaking of Bethesda-owned games that get ported to everything, Doom.
Yay!
Doom guy, famous first-person shooter, very influential.
Hey, probably not.
I don't know. He is pretty famous and he is very iconic as video games go. But Smash material?
I'm not sure I can see
That-
any first-person shooter character from anything getting in.
It is a hard sell.
Particularly when Doom's, especially recently, their whole shtick is very cartoonishly heavy gore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. Wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Well, let's just name drop a couple things that don't have a chance. I see
Are we
here.
gonna say this next name? Are we gonna say this next name?
No.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
Are we really? Are we gonna, without being joking, actually mention this
Let's-
name?
let's-
Say
we
it.
have to.
Let's just say out loud the name. We don't have to say anything about it. We can proceed this with 5 seconds of silence. But representing the Halo series, Master Chief.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I hate you.
We have
Wow.
to!
Lied to me.
And this
You
is
lied
this
to
is
me.
this is going to bleed into our next topic, which I'm sure we're going to talk about at length. But Master Chief is a costume in the Nintendo Switch version of Minecraft.
Hey, Minecraft! Let's talk about Minecraft!
Absolutely, let's do it.
I have nothing to
Banjo-Kazooie
say
seems
about.
like a pretty good idea.
I'm sorry, Harp, but we have to wait with that. I will actually say that it's less likely.
So, Minecraft, barring Tetris, is the best-selling video game of all time. It has been
Get some
ported.
noisy chips.
It's been ported to the Wii U, the new 3DS, and now the Switch. This is a game that everybody knows. I'm talking up there with Mario and Pac-Man. This is a game and a character that people who do not play games will recognize. I think we would be fools to dismiss Minecraft out of hand, and the possibility of Steve being playable.
I've
Not only
never
that.
played- Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was
you-
just saying.
I was in the
I-
circle, but go ahead, Falshane.
I'm sorry, we're using the circle now. I've never played a Minecraft ever, and I don't plan to start, so I have nothing to contribute.
I have also never played Minecraft, but I do not want to discredit it, especially when Nintendo has gone to the lengths that they have to even like rebrand Minecraft to the Switch. Not just release it, but to actually treat it like it's a special property for the Switch. I think that Minecraft Steve, Blowjob Steve, he is remarkably likely compared to other characters that we have on the list.
Hold on, you can't just call him that without any reference.
Sure we can.
Yeah, I can.
And did.
Watch me.
Okay then, but as someone who has played Minecraft, I could actually see him getting in. The only weird thing is I don't really know what to do with him. Like, building is really his major selling point, but how do you incorporate that into his moveset?
Building could be his gimmick. Like how some characters have like some special mechanic or gimmick building, like dropping blocks or even like collecting materials to craft weapons. I think they could figure out how to make that work.
Yeah, imagine like an upward recovery where he just builds a staircase for himself and starts darting diagonally towards the stage. But he could also do things like build a tank and then shoot people from that. It's basically the closest thing we'd ever have to Legos in Super Smash Brothers, and that you can just build anything.
My comment on that is if the villager can get in, then you
Oh,
can make a
okay.
moveset for any character, really. I mean, you
do
have a
have a
sword,
point.
you have a hammer or an axe or some crap. I know there's torches that are important.
Yep.
Diamonds somehow factor into it. I mean, I don't really know
TNT.
anything, and I could build a character for it. So,
Yeah, you do have a point. I just thought, hey, he only punches things, but and build things. But
That could be said for about like 80%
Okay,
of
I'm
the
sorry.
characters in Smash Brothers.
All right, so
I'm
it seems that 3.5 of us are considerably in favor of Minecraft Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, Art, do you want to talk about Banjo and Kazooie?
Not anymore.
We ruined Smash Brothers for him.
Okay, Banjo-Kazooie, Lord. Its time has passed. I don't really know why they would include Banjo-Kazooie at this point, other than just pleasing people who really liked it. I mean, that's something to consider. It's good to make people happy, but I don't think Banjo's really up there anymore, unfortunately.
But they could have a moveset based on that infamous game Nuts and Bolts that everybody loved.
Yeah. So.
I do have one addendum to his chances though, and it's two simple words.
We already talked about
Those aren't words!
In this
already
context,
talked
it
about-
is.
There's two magical words: Electronic Entertainment Expo.
Wait. If we're in a scenario in which the floodgates are open and third-party characters are getting in left and right, then that will be a point in which Banjo-Kazooie seems like a no-brainer just because he's so heavily requested. But if every third-party character that gets in needs to go through the whole song and dance of being a big special guest, it's a whole process, then they're not going to go through those lengths for Banjo-Kazooie. Not now.
Yeah, I know that the head of Xbox is in favor of it, but it's a question of whether Nintendo's in favor of it at this point. That's all.
Moving along, or do we talk about Perfect Dark?
I think we can skip that. I also think we can probably skip the next two companies I listed.
I haven't felt that a character stood a chance since we talked about Dark Souls.
I don't. Let's just. I seriously just want to say these names out loud. I don't think there's any chance for these. But Perfect Dark's Joanna Dark. We've got Fifth Cell Scribblenauts with Maxwell. We've got Mortal Kombat. And Lord knows there's a plethora of characters from that.
Scorpion.
EA's got all those sports games and Wanderer's
Yeah,
Red.
definitely. Let's put in John
So
Madden.
the real person John Madden fighting alongside the real person Mike Tyson and who is it? Dr. Kawashima.
Yeah.
It's good that you were all inclusive on this list. I agree.
And then BioWare's Mass Effect with Shepard. Does Shepard even have like a concrete design, or is Shepard?
Yeah.
There's a male and a female.
Yeah, there's technically a canon Shepard, but I mean...
Okay.
So, yeah.
Same deal as Robin, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can go on to the next big topic then, which is indie games.
That's where
Not
things get fun.
Yeah, fun, not likely. I'm gonna say because
Yeah.
I don't think really any indie character at all has a snowball's chance in hell.
What about Sans Undertale?
He's on the bottom of the list, but we can
Don't get ahead of us, Falshane. Who's the most likely indie character to get in?
I would.
Shantae.
Probably Shovel Knight.
My most wanted would be Shantae. I think the most likely would be Quote or Commander Video, but probably Quote.
Really?
I think that Quote would make the best character out of everyone here. I think Quote, Shantae, and Shovel Knight are pretty much tied. Everyone else that's on this list, I'm kind of meh about. I think that Travis would be interesting to play as, definitely. That would be
really fun. Not gonna happen.
That but in terms of considering things that actually have a shot in the dark,
Really fun. Thank you for placating me and putting him on there. Not gonna happen.
Yeah. Just to jump on it, yeah, Shantae and Quote seems to be the most likely ones. Quote with isn't he that the biggest indie or first big indie character that they came out or something?
Quote was like one of the characters that's considered to have ushered in the concept of indie gaming, because there was one guy who created this entire game that went back to gaming's roots, and people loved it and it exploded in popularity, and that's kind of the gateway into the era of indies.
Right.
Yeah, that is what I will think Quote is very likely, but I also feel Shantae has a better history with Nintendo, like specifically.
I mean, Cave Story's been ported onto pretty much every Nintendo portable console.
Yeah, I just mean that Shantae specifically started out on a Nintendo console as far back as to the Game Boy. Game Boy? Was that?
Yeah, Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And stayed on Nintendo for a while before branching out, but still staying with Nintendo.
So, I'm gonna stick with Shovel Knight as the most likely indie character. He's got an amiibo. He's been ported to quite a lot of things. He keeps getting more content. I haven't not heard about Shovel Knight in like 4 years. So I don't know. I think it's pretty reasonable to think that he stands a Shovel Knight.
The only point I would count against Shovel Knight is, well, two things. One, very recent. This isn't really like a classic character, much more recent thing. Two, not very well known in Japan.
That's fair.
I would say if you had said Shovel Knight for Smash 4, I would be on with you. That's Shovel Knight being very likely. I was as well when this DLC discussion was happening and all that. But I think it's past its time now. At least for Smash potential.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. It looks like we're done.
I'm gonna say one sentence about this,
Okay.
and the only bullshit crazy theory I could craft for how
boy.
Sans Undertale would get playable in Super Smash Brothers.
Sans
Yes,
Underman!
I just get a vibe from Sakurai that he has played Undertale. And if he has, Lord knows, he would bend the heaven and earth to get him into Super Smash Brothers, because that's just what Sakurai does when he likes a game.
I just get the opinion that Sakurai cosplays as Sans, so you know.
Well, don't you get that vibe? Don't you look at that man and say, oh, you're one of those Sans guys, right?
Well, I mean, I've cosplayed as Sans, so...
You're one of those Sans guys.
I'm one of those Sans guys!
I'm pretty sure Jay cosplays as Sans just in his everyday life.
Jay Sans.
I'll play Sans, yes, evil.
I would do it.
So, do you think we've forgot anybody?
No.
No one.
No.
And if there was someone with a ridiculous notion that we forgot somebody, well, they can just shove it up our YouTube comment section.
And absolutely tell us about that so that we can correct it. Great.
Shoot, I just remembered. We forgot to talk about this in our Square Enix discussion. Gino. Did we mention him before in the Mario discussion?
You mean Woodman? We said
I'm
Woodman
pretty,
like
I'm
3
pretty
times.
sure we did mention him
Well,
when we
good-
were talking about Mega Man.
Good talk, everybody.
Can I say the thing?
Sure.
That if people like our content, that they can comment, like, and subscribe?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can say that.
Nice! If you like
Thank-
the content, you can like, comment, and subscribe down below.
Aw, thanks everybody for being here and for listening to our words. We just talked about like 40 more characters than we did.
Right.
That's fine. But that's fine. So, talking about it legitimately, folks, just before we go, third-party characters are very, very rare, and they need to be very, very, very well known to make it into Smash. So, expect perhaps 1, 2, or 3 of what we just talked about to maybe have a shot.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
But hey, we'd love to know. We'd love to know. Who would you like? Do you feel like we missed anybody? Let us know.
But
Okay.
what will our next topic be?
E3! See you there. Yes.